trying it again. I got a suggestion in the comments from Don Hardcrackers that said I should give the pumpkin spice another try. So I did, and I kind of did it how he suggested, which I'd read some stuff about doing that with bourbon, trying to get your left brain working so that you get some taste out of it. And I'm sorry, old pal, but I still get nothing. Where's the pumpkin? No. Obviously, I'm supposed to be looking for the pumpkin spice, I guess. And I do believe I find a few hints of spice of some sorts. Maybe almost peppery, but it's flowery too. I don't like floral. Like right there. But I will say this: it's a pretty smooth smoke. It's I'm not going to toss it out. I'm going to smoke it. Just not a lot of flavor that I was expecting, and probably because of my left brain. Maybe my left brain's shot. You know, the whole brain cell things when you're younger. Anyway, as you can see, we're inside and it's Friday and we should be outside doing the fireside chat. But, well, unfortunately, we're finally getting some rain a little too late in the season. But we've had rain last 3 days now. And it's enjoyable. Fall's here. The leaves are falling. Got the leaf blower out yesterday. Tried to get some of the leaves away from all the doors and stuff before they came like wet, stick to your shoe, crack in the house type of thing. So Friday fireside chats rained out today, so we're going to do that VR for Truck and Piper Bob, my concrete hauling pal over in over across the pond. Yeah. Anyway, his question was, I probably won't word it right. Book you enjoyed as a child, book you enjoyed as an adult, and I got a problem with that because I like a lot of books. I have a lot of books. I don't get rid of any books. I did one time, and I got rid of a lot, and I've just kicked myself as I get older thinking about it. But I've got a lot of books, so and I read constantly. I read daily, nightly. Just it depends. I read online, like off of we've got a Libby app that we use from the Tucson Library and from our home library in our neck of the woods. Anyway, let's get on with it. This is a tough one because if many of you watched my video before about somebody that inspired me on Spencer Calf at the Pipe Sheds, his GAW, somebody that inspired me, teacher or mentor, and I talked about my 6th grade teacher inspiring me to read. And I know some of you are thinking, this cat's going to go all the way and say A Tale of Two Cities was his favorite book when he was a kid. No, it wasn't. But there's a couple that come to mind. There's 3 actually. And, the first one that probably is my favorite that I've read 2 or 3 times as well. Yeah, and I still have a copy which I've recently reread. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Why? Well, because I like a little Sam Langhorne Clemens. Yeah, a.k.a. Mark Twain. And I've read Life on the Mississippi, the Equator Book. I've read Prince and the Pauper, Tom Sawyer, of course. I just liked Huck Finn more than Tom because Huck was a badass. Yeah, that's all there was to it. What a great story of adventure on that raft with his pal Jim. Yeah, but a couple other books. The one book that there's a close toss-up on this was the first book that my teacher in 6th grade had told me he gave me a copy of the school library and said, you should read this. This is a great book. It fits your style. And it did. And it was by Robb White, R-O-B-B, White. And he was quite the writer, traveler, naval guy. And he wrote a story about a Marine going on a top secret mission. And it was called The Survivor. And I think it was written in 1967. I read it probably around 1979, 80, somewhere there. And I read it a couple times that year. Great book. And I've looked for a copy online, and as I just looked up some Rob White information today, yeah, I found a copy on Amazon, and I'm buying that sucker. But that was pretty much my kind of favorite, probably more than Huck Finn. It was a good book, well action packed. Not the love me some Twain. Don't get me wrong, but that was just a good book, and it was probably that was probably my favorite. It's hard for me to really pick a favorite book because I read, and the more I read, I find one, and then. But anyway, so Mark Twain, Huck Finn, The Survivor by Rob White, and honorable mention, we had a graphic novel. I don't know if you would even call it a graphic novel. It wasn't really a comic book back then, but it was Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I've recently reread as an adult, and I love that graphic novel. I wish I could find a copy of that or remember what it looked like, but it was a great book, and I love Dracula, and yeah, and that's probably why I like Halloween. I don't know. Speaking of Halloween, we should have some more pumpkin spice. I'm thinking about calling this blend Mums, like the fall edition of Autumn Flowers or something, because it really has a floral taste to me. All right, this adult book. This is really tough. But before we get to that, I had to go buy some new shoes for we're taking off for Wisconsin this afternoon, Prairie du Chien. We'll get to see some of that trip hopefully next Wednesday. But I got a little early to the shoe store yesterday. Didn't realize it. So, there's the P. Dalton books there. And I'm not a big fan of that. Kind of like used books, I guess. I don't really need new. But these are very cool, I thought. They were $10 a piece in their bargain bin. And one which I started reading last night and couldn't hardly put down is, and I'm going to take this to Wisconsin with me, The Illustrated Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by you-know-who, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Yeah, and it's got some great pictures, some great pipe smoking pictures in here. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a ton, and I honestly went through the pictures last night because there's just so many. I won't be able to find another one now, watch. There's just so many great pictures, very well illustrated, just really cool illustrations, and but there's a lot of pipe smoking ones in here. Maybe I'll try to take a few pictures and put it at the end of this video or somewhere down the road. But yeah, the Sherlock Holmes book, I'm enjoying it. And I had to buy this one since, it's Halloween, and everybody loves The Raven and the Telltale Heart, right? Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, I haven't delved into this yet, but it doesn't have as many. It says illustrated, but it's illustrated tales, but not as many as Holmes. And the Holmes ones are well done, and they're all from I think the Saturday Evening Post. They're the actual ones they used in the stories that are in this particular set of Holmes tales. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, now the toss-up. Dale Piper turned me on to this book and this guy, and I'm hooked. And so is my veterinarian friend, mind you. I think he is too. I hope so. I think he said he watched somewhere. He's lying to me. I'm not sure. Doc, I'll see you later. So I'll be looking in the eye when we talk, my friend. Anyway, this is, Jack Hargreaves. Maybe my English friends probably know him. And the book's called Out of Town, A Life Relived on Television. I'm telling you what, even if it has pipe smoking cat there, great tales, pub tales, farm tales. The whole rabbit catching thing is amazing, and then the fox hunting, dragging the sack or the bag. I can't remember what they called it, the canvas bag, and just great tales and what a life that guy lived. Super book, and even if you want a book about pipe smoking, this maybe isn't it, but it'd be right up that alley because it's super. And right now, it's probably my favorite new book. Right now, it tops everything. And he has another book out, but on Thrift Books that wasn't available yet. So I'm going to look hard for that. But we got some pictures of his family, some very good pictures in this book as well. just a super done book. And there's him and his buggy, which I've seen on some of the YouTube special. I think it's David Knowles is the channel that has a bunch of his stuff on it. So check out some Jack Hargreaves. Really cool guy, really cool book. And thanks Dale Piper for turning me on to that. Now, this is where we get a little sappy. We better have a little smoke before that. Just floral. I get floral. I'm trying. I absolutely get no pumpkin. No pumpkin. Anyway, here we go. My favorite movie in the world is Casablanca. Boo, hiss, boo, bring it on. Comments, whatever. I see one of the first old movies I ever really sat down and watched, and it was in color on TBS at the time when they did the whole big colorization thing of a lot of old movies. A lot of people were pissed off about, but you know what? I thought it was kind of cool. You can still watch it in black and white. If you don't want to watch it in color, don't want to watch it in color. I just thought it was neat, and it was beautiful. It was scenic and well written. And since that day, I've been a Humphrey Bogart fan. I think I have every one of his movies on DVD. And The Big Sleep, possibly one of my favorite movies, along with Casablanca and The Quiet Man, of course. But it really turned me on to old movies as well. And I watched a lot of old movies when I was a kid because that's what you had on Sunday Morning Classics and the 3 channels you had. Had a lot of old movies. So I grew up with that, but I never really, until about my early 20s, really, it took hold of me, old movies. So Casablanca is my number one movie, but we're not here to talk about movies. We're here to talk about books. And I didn't even know this existed one day. And about 15 years ago, I was walking through a bookstore. As time goes by, it's the sequel to the movie Casablanca. And it is so well done. The characters, it's like this guy just must have studied them. Michael Walsh is the author, and he must have studied these characters because he does an impressive job of the lingo, how they acted in the movie, their actions, the way that they spoke, especially Humphrey Bogart, Sam as well. And he even brought a lot of the characters along, like Sasha, and just a lot of the characters came along. Very well written, a little more action-packed than Casablanca, but a lot of twists and turns. I may have to read this again. I've read this twice, but I just did Casablanca, and so does my wife, let me tell you. You turn that thing on, and she sleeps so well. Yeah, she gets some really good sleep during that. So, yeah, it's nice. It's a peaceful movie for her. Peaceful movie. My daughter-in-law did try to watch it with me one time, and she too found it relaxing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I've probably seen it 100 times. Anyway, this is dragging on. I'm getting into movies, and we're supposed to be talking about, well, books. And as I said, this book right here, if you guys ain't got it yet, go get it. Highly recommend it. So does Dale Piper. I think that's all I got to say on this very rainy Friday. Heading to Wisconsin soon. Got some special treats coming up next week because I'm going to be getting some stuff in the mail. It's going to be really, really good stuff. Great treasures, heartfelt treasures, some of them, and a great purchase, I believe, from a pretty talented guy from right here in the YTPC. So stay tuned. We may do a spooky Monday Pipe Chronicles. I'm not sure yet. It depends on how busy the weekend is and how I feel. So anyway, tip of the haberdashery. Bid hasta luego. Don't forget to shake those jars. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.